Imagine having a goal you've dreamed about for years. It might be building a business, mastering a skill, or simply achieving a personal breakthrough. But what if I told you that the secret to getting there isn't about doing everything at once? The most effective path to success doesn't come from juggling countless tasks. Instead, it's about focusing all your energy on one thing, the most important thing that moves you closer to that vision. Think of success as a staircase. Each step represents a small but crucial task that brings you closer to the top. The climb isn't about trying to leap several steps at once. That just wears you out, and often leads to mistakes or even failure. Instead, success is built step by step, one small victory at a time. With every little win, you're building momentum. And that's how you truly achieve lasting progress. Focusing on one thing might sound simple, but it requires courage. Why? Because it means setting aside other things that seem urgent or interesting. It means saying no to distractions, and yes to a path that might feel slow but is steadily powerful. Many people miss this step because they think success has to happen fast, or that they have to do everything to succeed. But the reality is, trying to do it all only divides your attention, weakens your efforts, and slows you down. Imagine the feeling of dedicating yourself fully to just one goal. Picture the clarity of knowing exactly what to work on every day, instead of feeling scattered. This is empowering because you're no longer wasting your energy on things that don't truly serve your vision. With every bit of progress, you feel stronger, more determined, and closer to reaching that dream you've held on to. And here's something powerful: success isn't just about a single moment of achievement. It's about building habits, learning new skills, and developing the discipline to keep moving forward. The journey is where true growth happens. When you commit to focusing on one thing, you're not just working toward a goal, you're transforming into the kind of person who achieves their goals. You're becoming resilient, patient, and skilled. So, take that dream of yours and ask yourself, what's the one thing you could do right now to get closer? Let go of the urge to multitask. Free yourself from distractions, and pour your energy into this single, powerful purpose. And watch as each day, each small step, brings you closer to your success. Imagine standing in a room cluttered with things, papers, books, gadgets, projects, all screaming for your attention. Some of them are urgent, others are important, but not all of them matter equally. In life, it's the same, not everything holds the same weight. When we try to do it all, our energy gets pulled in too many directions, and we lose sight of what truly makes a difference. The power of focus lies in identifying the few things that will move us closer to our goals and giving them our full attention. When we focus on what truly matters, we unleash a powerful force of progress and meaning in our lives. This way, we're not just busy, we're actually productive. Then, there's the myth of multitasking. Multitasking can feel like we're achieving a lot, but in reality, it's more of a trap than a triumph. Every time we shift between tasks, our brain has to reorient itself, losing focus and efficiency in the process. Picture yourself reading a book and trying to solve a math problem simultaneously. Neither activity gets your full attention, and neither will be done well. Multitasking spreads our energy thin, making us feel exhausted without achieving any one thing effectively. By focusing deeply on one task at a time, we create high-quality outcomes and save mental energy. It's about doing one thing extraordinarily well, rather than many things poorly. Let's talk about discipline next. Discipline isn't an iron will that only a few people have, it's a skill, built one choice at a time, day by day. When we start small and stick to a daily commitment, whether it's exercising, reading, or working on a goal, discipline forms naturally. Think of it like planting a seed and watering it daily. Over time, that small, consistent action grows into a strong tree. Discipline, when practiced as a habit, becomes part of who you are. You no longer have to battle with yourself to get things done, they become second nature. Building discipline through habits makes success sustainable because you're no longer relying on fleeting motivation. And then there's willpower, a force we often assume is limitless but actually isn't. Imagine willpower as a battery that starts fresh every morning but drains with every tough decision we make. The more decisions we face, the faster our willpower depletes. This is why we sometimes feel decision fatigue by the end of the day, making it harder to stick to our goals or resist temptations. Instead of relying on willpower alone, we can conserve it by creating habits and routines that support our goals automatically. Imagine you want to start reading every day. If you set a time and place for it daily, you'll no longer have to will yourself to sit down and read, it'll just be what you do. Willpower is precious, so use it to establish habits that keep you moving toward your dreams without constantly draining your energy. Lastly, the idea that big is better can be misleading. We're often told to dream big, to shoot for the stars, but sometimes, big can feel overwhelming and even paralyzing. When a goal seems massive, it can be hard to even know where to start. Big goals can also tempt us to take on too much at once, leading to burnout or frustration. Instead, there's a quieter, more powerful truth: small steps lead to big outcomes. When you start with one small, manageable task and do it consistently, you build confidence and momentum. It's like laying bricks. Each brick alone might seem small, but over time, they build a strong, lasting structure. Every small step counts. As you accumulate these small wins, they eventually create a powerful foundation for reaching even the biggest dreams. In the end, the path to achieving anything worthwhile becomes clearer when we understand that. Not everything matters equally, choose wisely where you put your energy. Multitasking is a myth, focus on one thing at a time for true progress. Discipline is built from habit, start small, and let those actions grow into your strongest supports. Willpower is finite, use it to establish routines that work for you automatically. Big isn't always better, start with small, meaningful steps that lead to big results over time. When you apply these principles, you begin to approach your goals with clarity, focus, and strength. Each step forward, no matter how small, becomes part of your story of success. You're no longer chasing after everything. Instead, you're moving steadily toward what matters most. Chapter 1 of The One Thing introduces a deceptively simple but life-changing idea. The secret to getting what you truly want is to focus on just one thing. In a world filled with endless options and distractions, we're often encouraged to take on as much as possible, believing that doing more will lead to achieving more. But Gary Keller, through his own experiences, discovered the exact opposite to be true. Keller's story teaches us that where he saw his biggest successes, he had intensely narrowed his focus to a single priority. When he concentrated on just one critical goal, every bit of his energy and effort went into moving that goal forward, and the results were extraordinary. But in moments where he tried to juggle multiple goals, his success became inconsistent. This difference was so striking that Keller realized a powerful truth: lasting success isn't about doing more, it's about doing less, but doing it with intense focus and commitment. So, if you're aiming for real, meaningful progress, Keller suggests that your strategy should always be the same: go small. But what does it mean to go small? It means resisting the temptation to spread yourself thin across multiple goals or interests and instead dedicating yourself to just one thing, the one action, the one priority that will have the biggest impact on your life or work. Going small is about making tough choices and choosing to ignore everything that isn't crucial to your highest goal. By doing this, you're not minimizing your ambition, you're maximizing your focus on what matters most. Keller explains that extraordinary results come from an intensely narrow focus. Imagine using a magnifying glass on a sunny day. When you focus sunlight onto a single, tiny point, it can create enough heat to start a fire. But if you simply wave the glass around, the energy dissipates and has no effect. Your focus works in the same way. When you narrow it to a single point, it becomes a powerful force, able to drive massive change and significant results. When you allow your focus to scatter, however, your energy is diluted, and you end up achieving far less. The importance of this approach cannot be overstated. Doing fewer things with greater impact is far more effective than doing more things with little effect. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that busyness equals productivity. We fill our days with task after task, feeling like we're accomplishing a lot. But, as Keller points out, productivity is not about completing as many tasks as possible, it's about focusing on the few tasks that will make the biggest difference. One of the most important lessons in this chapter is the concept of side effects. When we try to do everything, we inevitably face negative consequences. We feel overwhelmed, stressed, and stretched too thin. These side effects dilute our quality of work, our satisfaction, and ultimately our happiness. When you're trying to do it all, you're left with divided attention, which means that nothing you do has your full energy and focus. But when you narrow your focus to the one thing that matters, you're not only more likely to succeed, you're also able to enjoy the journey, free from the chaos and pressure of multitasking. Keller's philosophy encourages us to look at our goals, our dreams, and our daily tasks through a new lens. Rather than asking, "What else can I do?" ask yourself, "What is the one thing I can do that will make everything else easier or unnecessary?" This question is powerful because it forces you to consider what truly moves the needle forward. It pushes you to identify the one task, the one action that will have a ripple effect on all the other areas of your life. In essence, Chapter 1 of The One Thing teaches that success doesn't come from doing everything, it comes from doing the one thing that matters most with all your heart, energy, and focus. When you align your efforts to this single focus, you become unstoppable. Every decision becomes simpler because you're no longer overwhelmed by endless choices. Every action becomes more powerful because it's directed toward a specific goal. And over time, this focused energy builds momentum, leading to extraordinary results that far surpass what you could achieve by spreading yourself thin. So, if there's one takeaway from Chapter 1, it's this: choose the one thing that matters most to you, and give it your all. Set aside distractions, ignore the urge to multitask, and concentrate your energy on this single purpose. By doing so, you'll find that success is not about doing more, but about doing the right thing, the one thing that truly counts. The domino effect. Imagine setting up a row of dominoes. You tap the first one, and it topples the next, which topples the next, creating a chain reaction that continues until every domino in the line has fallen. Now imagine if each domino was a bit bigger than the last. As each one falls, it can knock over a domino 1.5 times its size. Starting with something small, you could eventually topple something massive simply by creating momentum, one domino at a time. This is exactly how success works. Extraordinary results don't happen all at once, they happen by focusing on one goal at a time and letting each accomplishment build on the last. Many of us dream of achieving big things, but the enormity of those dreams can make us feel paralyzed, not knowing where to start. The domino effect provides a solution: start small and let your success build. The chapter emphasizes that success is sequential, it's about taking one focused step after another, gradually building momentum. When you align your efforts with a single purpose and commit to it consistently over time, you create a powerful chain reaction in your life. Each action you take builds on the previous one, just like dominoes knocking each other down. It's a reminder that big accomplishments are often the result of many small, purposeful actions that build momentum and lead to extraordinary outcomes. Keller's message is that while you can't tackle everything at once, you don't need to. Focus on the one thing that matters most, knock it down, and watch as it starts a cascade of progress in your life. You're not aiming to conquer everything at once, you're setting a chain reaction in motion. This approach is empowering because it means you don't have to be overwhelmed by the big picture. Success isn't a giant leap, it's a series of small, well-placed steps that gradually lead to your biggest goals. By focusing on your top priority, you allow yourself to take action with purpose and direction, building your success one achievement at a time. The process becomes a matter of setting up your dominoes in a line, carefully and thoughtfully, and then letting the force of your efforts compound. When you harness the domino effect in your life, you realize that the path to success isn't about doing everything, it's about doing the right things, one at a time. Each step forward brings you closer to your ultimate vision, and before long, you'll find yourself achieving things you once thought were impossible. In essence, Chapter 2 teaches us that extraordinary success is within reach for anyone willing to go small, focus on one thing at a time, and let the power of compounding action carry them forward. The truth about success is like a powerful, blinding light. Success leaves clues, and those clues point directly to a path paved by focus, commitment, and unity with others. We may idolize the concept of being self-made, picturing lone heroes who conquer the world through sheer force of will. But let's shatter that illusion. No one rises alone. Every success story is woven from connections, guidance, and the wisdom of those who came before. Every successful person has leaned on the strength and knowledge of mentors, partners, and supporters. They've walked a path others have paved, picking up pieces of insight along the way. The one thing that ties all extraordinary achievements together, the secret weapon of success, is the one thing. It's the universal truth that, time and again, we see in the lives of those who've reached incredible heights. The one thing is not a trend or a life hack, it's a fundamental truth, a core principle that governs every act of lasting success. It's the silent, powerful force at the heart of greatness, the hidden key that unlocks doors others never even see. At the heart of every success story lies a single focus, a single, relentless purpose that drives everything else. It's not just a strategy, it's the pulse, the heartbeat of every significant achievement. Look at the lives of any truly successful individual, they didn't dilute their efforts chasing everything at once. Instead, they channeled their passion and energy into a laser-sharp focus on that one thing that mattered most. The one thing is the engine, the guiding star, and the unbreakable foundation of success itself. To achieve anything extraordinary, to rise above the ordinary and touch greatness, you must discover your own one thing, the single purpose that burns brighter than every other goal. It's the compass that will direct every decision, the light that will cut through every distraction. When you focus on this core purpose, everything else begins to align. Your actions become more powerful, your energy becomes unstoppable, and your impact is nothing short of monumental. So, take this to heart, the one thing isn't just a path to success, it's the very soul of it. It's the force that has propelled all the world's greatest achievements, and it's the same force that can propel you. When you allow your one thing to become the anchor of your life, you're not just following a strategy, you're tapping into a truth that has fueled history's most remarkable achievements. This focus, this purpose, is the ultimate tool for building something magnificent. And with it, you, too, can leave a legacy of success that echoes through time. In the pursuit of success, there are 6 deceptive lies that stand between you and your greatest potential, lies that mislead us, hold us back, and cloud our vision of what's truly possible. These lies are not just small misconceptions, they are insidious beliefs that, if left unchecked, can derail our dreams and stop us from achieving greatness. Let's break them down and expose the truth. 1. Everything matters equally. The lie that everything matters equally is one of the most damaging myths in the pursuit of success. We often think that to be successful, we must focus on everything at once, tackle every task, attend to every demand, and treat every opportunity with equal importance. But this is the trap that keeps us stuck in mediocrity. Not everything is equal in weight. In fact, most things are distractions, pulling us away from what truly matters. The truth? Success comes from narrowing your focus to the one thing that matters most. When you prioritize, you unleash your full potential. Everything does not matter equally, focus on the one thing, and the rest will fall into place. 2. Multitasking. Multitasking is the myth that tells you you're being productive when you're juggling multiple tasks at once. In reality, multitasking is a lie that dilutes your energy, attention, and effectiveness. When you switch between tasks, your brain has to refocus, wasting precious time and mental power. You are not accomplishing more, you're scattering your efforts, spreading yourself thin and producing subpar results across the board. The truth is that multitasking is a productivity killer. Success demands undivided attention to one thing at a time. Focus on one task, give it your all, and watch how much more you accomplish. 3. A disciplined life. The lie about living a disciplined life suggests that success is built by rigid schedules, constant self-control, and never allowing yourself to stray. But this doesn't lead to success, it leads to burnout. The truth is, discipline is a habit, not a constant struggle. When you develop habits that support your one thing, discipline becomes effortless. Success isn't about rigidly forcing yourself to follow a set routine, it's about creating systems and habits that work for you, not against you. True discipline is about consistency, not perfection. 4. Willpower is always on will call. Willpower is not an infinite resource. In fact, it's a finite resource that depletes with every decision you make. The lie is that willpower will always be there when you need it. The truth? You can't rely on willpower alone to achieve success. Instead, focus on creating an environment and systems that remove the need for constant willpower. Structure your life in a way that makes success inevitable. When you remove temptation, build good habits, and align your environment with your goals, willpower isn't needed as much, your success becomes a natural result. 5. A balanced life. The lie of a balanced life tells you that you need to give equal time and energy to every area of your life, work, family, health, hobbies, and everything else. But balance, as it's traditionally defined, is a myth that keeps you stuck in mediocrity. The truth? Sometimes, in order to achieve extraordinary results, you have to go all in on your one thing. There will be seasons in life where one area demands more of your focus. Success isn't about balance, it's about creating imbalances that move you closer to your goals. When you focus intensely on the right thing, you will naturally create the space and success in other areas later. 6. Big is bad. Many people believe that thinking big, aiming high, and going after massive goals is dangerous. This is a lie designed to keep you small and safe. The truth? Big goals are not bad, they're essential. Thinking big fuels your ambition and inspires action. When you go after your boldest dreams, you tap into a wellspring of energy and passion that drives you forward. Big is good. It's the small, inconsequential goals that hold you back. The bigger the goal, the more powerful the motivation. Dream big, focus on that one massive goal, and pursue it relentlessly. Imagine this: your day is flooded with endless tasks, emails, and requests. Everything demands your attention right now, and everything feels urgent. The pressure is mounting, and you start juggling multiple things at once. But here's the harsh truth: just because everything feels urgent doesn't mean it's important. When everything demands your attention, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everything matters equally. But in reality, this just pulls you in a million directions without truly moving you toward your biggest goals. Let's face it, activity is not the same as productivity. You can be busy all day, checking off items from your to-do list, yet still feel like you're running in place. Busyness may keep you active, but it doesn't guarantee progress. And here's where many of us get stuck: we confuse motion with accomplishment. When you're chasing every small task, you're not making each day a building block for your future success. The things which are most important don't always scream the loudest. Bob Hawke. This quote is a wake-up call. The most crucial tasks don't always shout for your attention. In fact, they often whisper. But it's in those quiet moments, where you have to pause, think, and discern, that extraordinary results begin to form. Achievers don't live from a to-do list, they work from a sense of priority. A to-do list is often just a survival guide, a list that gets you through the day but doesn't propel you toward anything meaningful. It's filled with tasks that might be necessary, but they're not designed to build a life of success. That's why it's crucial to focus on a success list, a list created with purpose, built around what will truly bring extraordinary results. If your to-do list contains everything, chances are it's taking you everywhere except where you truly want to go. The truth is, success doesn't come from doing everything, it comes from doing the right things. And here's the secret: extraordinary results are achieved through a small number of focused actions, not by trying to do everything. No matter how big or small the task or goal may seem, it's critical to start with a large list. But here's where the magic happens: you must develop the mindset to whittle that list down to the critical few tasks that truly matter. Not all tasks are created equal, and the sooner you realize that, the faster you'll find your way to success. There will always be a few things that matter more than everything else, and from those few, one will stand out as the most important. Doing the most important thing is always the most important thing. This is the core truth of success. The most essential thing in your life, career, or project may not always be the most obvious or the loudest. But when you identify it, and dedicate yourself to it, you begin to unlock extraordinary results. You don't have to do everything, you just need to focus on what matters most and give it your all. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by a mountain of tasks, remember this: success isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things. The majority of what you want will come from the minority of what you do. Focus on that one thing, and everything else will fall into place. Multitasking is often praised as a badge of efficiency. After all, who doesn't want to accomplish more in less time? But here's the truth: multitasking is a lie. It's a deception we've bought into, thinking that juggling multiple tasks at once somehow makes us more productive. The reality? It doesn't. In fact, multitasking undermines our ability to do anything well. When you try to do two things at once, you're not doubling your output, you're dividing your focus. You either can't do both tasks effectively, or you won't. Either way, the results are lackluster. Think about it: you're splitting your attention, and every time you do that, you're paying a cost you probably don't even realize. The truth is that multitasking isn't about managing time, it's about managing focus. And when you spread that focus too thin, the quality of your work suffers. It's not that we don't have enough time, it's that we're trying to do too many things in the time we have. Researchers estimate that workers are interrupted every 11 minutes on average, and then spend nearly a third of their day recovering from those distractions. Imagine that, a third of your day gone, just to get back on track after switching tasks. This constant switching doesn't just waste time, it depletes your mental energy and dulls your concentration. When you switch from one task to another, something happens. First, you decide to switch, but second, and more importantly, you have to activate the rules for whatever task you're about to dive into. This process of switching requires mental effort and causes you to lose momentum. Task switching is not free. Every time you bounce between tasks, you're essentially paying an invisible toll that you might not even notice in the moment. In fact, researchers estimate that multitasking drains 28% of an average workday, almost a third of your day down the drain. That's not just inefficiency, that's wasted potential. So why do we keep doing it? Why do we tolerate this constant ping-pong of distractions when we're doing our most important work? The answer is simple: we don't realize the cost until it's too late. The false belief that we can effectively handle multiple things at once has become ingrained in our culture, but the truth is, you can't focus effectively on two things at the same time. When you try, you're lowering the quality of everything you're working on. Here's the empowering part: to achieve extraordinary results, you need to break free from the myth of multitasking. Focus on the one thing that matters most at that moment, and give it your full attention. One task, one focus, one outcome at a time. This is the path to greatness. You'll not only finish faster but with higher quality and more energy. So, the next time you feel the urge to juggle multiple tasks, remember, the most productive people are those who focus on one thing at a time. Success is often thought of as this long, grueling marathon that requires relentless, unwavering discipline. But here's a game-changing truth: success is actually more like a short sprint, a sprint fueled by discipline, just long enough for the momentum of habit to take over and carry you to the finish line. When you discipline yourself, you're not just forcing yourself to work harder or longer. You're training yourself to act in a specific, intentional way. The magic happens when you stick with this long enough for it to become routine, for it to shift from something you have to force yourself to do, to something that just happens naturally. In other words, it becomes a habit, and habits have incredible power. The best part? You don't need endless amounts of discipline to be successful. You just need enough to establish the right habit. And that's the key: success isn't about doing everything right, it's about doing the right thing consistently. When you focus on the one thing that really matters, it becomes a habit, and that's when your life begins to transform. Imagine this: once you've established the right habit, you no longer need to monitor every single thing. You're no longer constantly checking yourself or forcing yourself to stay on track. The habit takes over, and it frees you from the constant mental effort of trying to stay disciplined. Instead of forcing discipline into every aspect of your life, you simply do the right thing, effortlessly. But here's the catch: it takes time. On average, it takes about 66 days to form a new habit. That's 2 months of consistent action. During this time, you might feel frustrated, like you're not seeing results fast enough. You might be tempted to quit, but this is the moment where most people give up. Don't quit too soon. Stick with it, even when it feels like it's taking longer than you expected. Decide what the right habit is, and then give yourself the time you need and all the discipline you can muster to stick with it. The reward will come. Once you have the right habits, something magical happens. You start doing the most important thing regularly, without even thinking about it. As a result, everything else in life becomes easier. The other tasks, the other challenges, they don't feel as overwhelming because the one habit you focused on has built the foundation for everything else. And it wasn't about forcing yourself to do everything right, it was about choosing the right habit and committing to it. So, if you feel like success is a distant dream or a battle of willpower, remember this: you don't need endless discipline. You need the right habits. Once you lock in on the right one, it's like flipping a switch. Success isn't about doing it all perfectly, it's about doing the right thing, over and over, until it becomes second nature. This is how you win the race. This is how you turn small efforts into extraordinary results. Remember, success isn't about grinding through the day, relying on sheer willpower to push through. It's about understanding when your willpower is at its peak and using that time wisely. The secret to productivity, to achieving your biggest goals, is doing the hard stuff first, when your mind is still clear and your willpower is high. By the time the day is winding down, you'll have already knocked out the one thing that matters most. And that is how you make your day, your work, and your life extraordinary. A balanced life, the elusive goal we all seem to chase. We hear it all the time, right? The idea that if we just get everything in perfect harmony, work, family, friends, self-care, then we'll be happy, fulfilled, and successful. But let's be real for a second, a balanced life is a lie. It sounds good, but it's an illusion that stops us from achieving the greatness we're capable of. Think about it, in your quest for balance, what ends up happening? You're spread so thin that everything gets a little bit of your time and attention, but nothing gets the depth it truly deserves. You're constantly bouncing from one thing to the next, responding to emails, making dinner, working on a project, trying to exercise, all at the same time. You're busy. You're active. But what you're really doing is diluting your energy and focus. You're not making progress. You're simply keeping the plate spinning. Here's the hard truth: trying to balance everything equally is the enemy of extraordinary results. When you're trying to get everything done, you're actually setting yourself up for mediocrity. The simple fact is, time is your most valuable resource, and you can't stretch it out across everything without sacrificing the quality of your work, your relationships, and even your own well-being. You may end the day feeling like you've done a lot, but in reality, you've just made a lot of things good enough, and good enough is never going to take you to greatness. You know what else? When you're running around trying to give equal attention to every area of your life, you're left with this constant sense of unfinished business. No matter how hard you try, there will always be things that don't get done at the end of the day, week, or year. And it's exhausting. It's frustrating. But it's a natural part of the process. When you're chasing extraordinary results, it's not about finishing everything, it's about making the right things a priority and giving them all your focus. And sometimes, that means other things will fall by the wayside. You don't need balance, you need focus. To achieve extraordinary results, you have to make the hard choice to pour all of your time, energy, and effort into the one thing that matters most in that moment. And when you do that, something magical happens. You start to see real progress in the areas that matter, and the things that you let go of, well, they don't matter as much anymore. Because the extraordinary is born from intense, singular focus, not from splitting your attention. Now, let's take it a step further. When you focus on the one thing that really matters, your most important goal or project, you're automatically going to go out of balance. That's just how it works. You can't put all your energy into one thing and still expect to be perfect in every area of your life. That's why trying to balance everything will only hold you back. When you focus on the right thing, other things will naturally fall behind. But here's the truth, that's okay. It's necessary. In fact, leaving some things undone is part of the process. It's a trade-off you must be willing to make to create something extraordinary. So, the next time you feel the pressure to have it all under control, remember this: it's okay to let go. It's okay to let some things be unfinished. Because the key to success is giving the right things all of your attention, even if it means other things are left behind. Here's the ultimate takeaway: trying to live a balanced life means you're settling for mediocrity. Real success is about going out of balance in the areas that matter most to you, then letting everything else sit on the back burner, temporarily. Because when you focus all your energy on the one thing that will make the biggest impact, you'll look back and realize it was worth every single moment of imbalance. Big is bad. This is one of the biggest lies that has been drilled into our minds. Big is bad? Are you kidding me? That belief has been holding people back for far too long, making them play small, think small, and never even dream big enough to get started. The truth is, big is the only thing that will lead you to your true potential. When you tell yourself that big is bad, you're operating under a mindset of limitation. You're choosing to remain comfortable, choosing to stay within the boundaries of what you know, never daring to break free and explore the unknown. Small thinking keeps you safe but small. It keeps you stuck in mediocrity. The moment you begin to believe that big is not just possible but necessary, your world shifts. You are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for, and thinking small is what's holding you back. The truth is, you don't know your true ceiling for achievement. No one does. Worrying about how big your dreams can really get is pointless because the possibilities are endless. You don't have to know how high you can soar, you just have to take flight and see where the winds will carry you. The more you aim for the impossible, the more likely you are to surpass your current limitations. And once you make that shift in your thinking, you'll see that big isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. Believing in big allows you to see things differently. It frees you to ask the right questions, the questions that will propel you forward. It opens doors to paths you wouldn't have dared explore otherwise. When you think big, the actions you take are aligned with that vision. The efforts you make aren't just steps, they're launch pads for massive growth and success. Every single action you take from that big perspective creates momentum, moving you closer to the version of yourself you were always meant to be. What you build today is not just a reflection of where you are now, it's a blueprint for where you're headed. Every decision you make today will either empower you to reach new heights or restrict you to the ground. So ask yourself, what kind of future do you want to create? The only way to get there is by thinking and acting without limits. Achievement and abundance don't happen because you worked yourself to death. They happen because you chose to think big and act without fear of failure. When you get out of your own way and push beyond the boundaries, that's when the real magic happens. Success isn't about being perfect or overworking yourself to exhaustion. It's about being appropriate and intentional in the moments that matter most. Success is not found in being busy, running on a hamster wheel of overthinking, overplanning, and overanalyzing. That endless grind doesn't create success, it burns you out. Success isn't in how many hours you put in, but in how well you focus your energy on the few things that really matter. And when you embrace big thinking, you're not just opening the door to success, you're unlocking the door to your true life potential. Stop playing small. Stop telling yourself that you can't. You are capable of more than you know, and big thinking will lead you to places you never imagined. So, next time you catch yourself thinking, this is too big for me, remember this, big is exactly what you need. It's time to stop living in the confines of good enough and start living the life you were meant to live, one where there are no limits, only possibilities. Because when you live big, you'll find a freedom and a success that you never thought possible. The focusing question is the game changer you didn't know you needed. The truth is, answers don't just come from nowhere, they come from questions. And not just any questions. The quality of the answers you receive is directly tied to the quality of the questions you ask yourself. You ask the wrong question, you get a useless answer. Ask the right one, and the world starts to reveal itself to you. But ask the most powerful question, and you might just alter the course of your entire life. Voltaire nailed it when he said, "Judge a man by his questions rather than his answers." The truth here is profound. It's not about what you know, but about the questions you ask. These questions shape your reality, your destiny, and ultimately, the life you live. So, what's the question that can change everything? That question is the focusing question. It's so simple on the surface that many overlook its incredible power. But those who truly embrace it discover it's the key to extraordinary results. This question isn't just for the big picture, for the grand ambitions and dreams you want to chase. It's also for the small moments, the everyday steps that lead to those monumental successes. It's about identifying the single most important thing that will make everything else either easier or irrelevant. The focusing question forces you to ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it everything else will be easier or unnecessary? This isn't just a clever way to prioritize, it's a blueprint for massive achievement. It clears away the clutter of unnecessary tasks and brings everything down to what truly matters. When you ask this question, you're not just organizing your to-do list, you're eliminating distractions and identifying the highest leverage action you can take right now. It's about focusing your energy where it counts and recognizing that not everything deserves your attention. You'll be shocked by how many things can simply be ignored when you focus on the one thing that has the power to make everything else fall into place. The success habit is not just a practice, it's a mindset that leads you down the path to extraordinary results. It all begins with one powerful tool, the focusing question. Imagine this question as the secret weapon in your arsenal, guiding you to the most important actions that will propel you to success. It's simple, yet incredibly effective. The focusing question isn't just a random thought, it's a habit that anchors you to clarity and purpose every day. It gives you the ability to focus on the big stuff first, and from there, the smaller tasks just fall into place. It directs you to the one thing that will make everything else easier or unnecessary. Now, the beauty of the focusing question is its adaptability. It's not just for long-term goals or grand dreams, it can be tailored to any area of your life. Whether it's personal growth, career goals, health, or relationships, you can apply it wherever you need focus and direction. You can even attach a time frame to add urgency to your goals. Think about it, what's the one thing I can do right now to ensure I hit my health goals this week? Or, for long-term ambitions, you might ask, what's the one thing I can do this year to position myself for financial freedom in 5 years? Here's the formula. Category plus the focusing question plus time frame plus the ultimate goal. Let's break it down. Category: start by specifying the area of your life or work that you're focusing on. The focusing question: ask, what's the one thing I can do to? Time frame: add immediacy, this week, today, or even this year. The ultimate goal: end by framing it in terms of ease, such that by doing it everything else will be easier or unnecessary. For example, for my career, what's the one thing I can do today to ensure I hit my targets by the end of the week such that by doing it everything else will be easier or unnecessary? By starting with the big stuff and then narrowing it down, you create a habit of focus that becomes ingrained over time. The focusing question gives you direction, helps you stay on track, and keeps you from getting bogged down by distractions. It's not about juggling countless tasks, it's about identifying and acting on the one thing that will move the needle the most. And here's the kicker: once you master the success habit of using the focusing question consistently, you'll start to notice a shift in your productivity and results. No more scrambling to get everything done. No more feeling overwhelmed by your to-do list. You'll be empowered to focus on what really matters, and success will follow. So, make this question a part of your daily routine, and watch as it transforms your approach to life and success. The more you ask it, the more it will shape your destiny. The path to great answers begins with understanding that not all answers are created equal. When seeking extraordinary results, it's essential to recognize the difference between doable, stretch, and possibility answers. Ordinary results can come from doable or stretch answers, but to achieve something truly exceptional, you need to aim for the great answer, the one that requires you to step outside of your comfort zone. A great answer isn't just an improved version of a normal answer, it's a new answer. It's an idea or strategy that challenges the status quo and takes you into uncharted territory. The key to finding such an answer is often in searching beyond your own knowledge. The first thing to do when moving toward a big goal is to ask yourself, has anyone else done this before? Whether it's through personal conversations with someone who's accomplished what you're after, or by reading their published works, the research and experience of others offer invaluable insights into achieving success. Books, case studies, and documented experiences are rich sources that can help guide you toward the right answer. But here's the thing, finding the right answer is just the first step. A new answer often requires a new behavior. To take your results to the next level, you need to change your approach, your mindset, and possibly even your habits. This is where the power of purpose, priority, and productivity comes into play. Purpose, your big one thing, the overarching reason behind what you're working toward. Priority, the small one thing you focus on today to move closer to your purpose. Productivity, the consistent, daily actions that allow you to move forward, step by step. To put it simply, your big one thing defines your life's purpose, and the small one thing is the priority you focus on right now to make that purpose a reality. And as you progress, your daily actions and focus build momentum, allowing you to create the extraordinary results you seek. Great businesses, remarkable careers, and extraordinary lives are built one productive person at a time, starting with you. When you commit to finding great answers and taking purposeful action toward them, you unlock your potential to create a life of extraordinary success. So, don't settle for the comfortable or easy answer. Seek out the great answer, the one that pushes you to grow, change, and become the person capable of achieving your dreams. It may be uncomfortable at first, but it's the only path that leads to exceptional success. Live with purpose. Living with purpose is the cornerstone of both happiness and success. It's not just about setting goals or achieving milestones. Purpose is the force that drives everything you do. Your purpose sets your priority, and your priority shapes the productivity of your actions. In simpler terms, when you have a clear purpose, it guides every decision you make and ensures you're focused on the right tasks that move you toward your goals. Who we are and where we want to go directly influence what we do and what we accomplish. Our actions become reflections of our values and aspirations. But it's not just about the external goals we chase. It's about how we interpret the circumstances we face along the way. The same event can be perceived differently by different people, depending on how they relate it to their life's purpose. Some see challenges as roadblocks, while others see them as opportunities to grow. This difference in perspective shapes the course of our lives. Once we achieve what we think we want, there's often a sense of satisfaction, but this satisfaction tends to fade quickly. That's because we adapt to new acquisitions or accomplishments faster than we realize, and the excitement or happiness we felt initially begins to dwindle. This cycle can make us feel like we're forever chasing the next big thing, but the truth is, happiness happens on the way to fulfillment. It's the journey toward our purpose, not the destination, that brings lasting happiness. Dr. Martin Seligman, a renowned psychologist, identified 5 key factors that contribute to our happiness. Positive emotion and pleasure, experiencing joy and satisfaction in the present moment. Achievement, pursuing and accomplishing goals that matter to us. Relationships, building meaningful, supportive connections with others. Engagement, being deeply involved in activities that bring us fulfillment. Meaning, finding purpose in what we do and how it contributes to the greater good. These elements, when woven together, create a balanced foundation for long-term happiness. But even more importantly, purpose is the thread that ties everything together. To be truly wealthy, emotionally, spiritually, or financially, you must have a purpose for your life. Without purpose, there's no clear understanding of when you've had enough, and wealth, in all its forms, becomes an endless pursuit with no true fulfillment. Happiness isn't found in accumulating more or achieving the next goal. It's found in living a life with a bigger purpose, one that transcends material success. The happiness you experience along the way is the result of aligning your actions with your deeper meaning in life. It's about living fully with intention, finding joy in the process, and recognizing that fulfillment is not a destination but a lifelong journey. So, if you want to experience true wealth, the wealth of purpose, joy, and fulfillment, ask yourself, what's your purpose? And how can you make every action you take a reflection of that greater purpose? Live by priority. Living with purpose is important, but purpose without priority is powerless. You can have the clearest vision and the most compelling purpose, but without priority, your efforts will remain scattered, diluted, and ineffective. To truly achieve extraordinary results, you need to consistently choose your most important actions and focus on them. The truth about success is that it's not about a single massive leap, it's about stringing together a series of powerful moments, one after the other. The more you focus on what matters most and give it your undivided attention, the more likely you are to achieve your goals. But here's the catch: the farther away a reward is, the smaller the immediate motivation to pursue it. This is why you need to connect today to all your tomorrows, make every action count, and recognize that the choices you make today are the stepping stones to the success you want to experience. One of the best ways to maintain focus is through visualization, breaking down your big goals into smaller, actionable steps. When you visualize the process of achieving your goals, it engages your strategic thinking, helping you develop a clear plan for how to reach your target. This kind of preparation is essential for achieving extraordinary results. Plus, it's not just about imagining success. Writing down your goals has been proven to significantly increase the likelihood of achieving them. In fact, studies show that people who write down their goals are 39.5% more likely to accomplish them. Live for productivity. When it comes to creating a life of extraordinary results, productivity is key. Productive action transforms lives. It's not about being busy, it's about getting the most out of your time and focusing on the activities that matter most. The most successful people are also the most productive, and this isn't a coincidence. They understand that in order to achieve disproportionate results, they need to dedicate disproportionate time to the things that make the biggest impact. One of the best ways to ensure that you're working on what matters is to time block. Time blocking means setting aside specific chunks of time for your most important activities, and the earlier you do this in your day, the more productive you'll be. Keller recommends blocking 4 hours a day for your most important work. This may sound intense, but it's essential for maximizing productivity. To achieve extraordinary results, Keller suggests blocking your time in a specific order. Time block your time off. Rest is just as important as working. Without proper rest, your productivity suffers. Time block your one thing. This is the most important task you can focus on. By dedicating the majority of your energy to this, you ensure that you're moving toward your goals. Time block your planning time. If you don't plan ahead, you can't set yourself up for success. Plan your day, week, month, and even year to ensure you're aligned with your goals. Maker time versus manager time. Another powerful concept is the distinction between maker time and manager time, a framework coined by Paul Graham of Y Combinator. Maker time requires long, uninterrupted blocks of time. It's when you're doing deep work, creating, developing, writing, and executing. This type of work requires focus and concentration, so it's essential to block out large chunks of time for it. Maker time tends to work best in half-day or full-day increments. Manager time, on the other hand, is more fragmented. It's when you're overseeing others, running meetings, or dealing with administrative tasks. This type of work usually fits into shorter, more frequent intervals. To achieve extraordinary results, you should focus on being a maker in the morning. This is when your mind is fresh and your energy is at its peak. Use this time to work on your one thing. In the afternoon, transition into manager mode, dealing with meetings and tasks that don't require as much deep thinking. Protecting your time blocks. The most successful people protect their time blocks fiercely. One of the biggest challenges to productivity is the temptation to prioritize other tasks over your one thing. This is where discipline comes into play. Treat your time blocks as sacred and do whatever it takes to protect them. Another key to staying productive is to review your goals regularly. Block an hour each week to revisit your annual and monthly goals, making sure you're on track. When you review your goals, you ensure that you're staying aligned with your purpose and that your daily actions are driving you toward your long-term success. In summary, if you want to experience extraordinary results, the secret lies in making productive action a habit. Dedicate your time to what matters most, block out distractions, and stick to your time blocks as though your success depends on them, because it does. It's through this focused productivity that you'll build the life you've always envisioned. The 3 commitments. To achieve extraordinary results through time blocking, you must make 3 key commitments. These commitments are not just about strategy but about adopting a mindset that leads to sustained success. Adopt a mindset of mastery. The pursuit of mastery is not a destination, it's a journey. When you view mastery as a continuous path rather than a final achievement, it becomes far more attainable. Success in any field is less about innate talent and more about consistent effort and hours invested. Experts are made, not born, and mastery requires ongoing learning and practice. Seek the best ways of doing things. Once you've committed to mastery, the next step is to find the most efficient and effective ways to achieve your goals. This requires you to continually improve and refine your methods. When you adopt the habit of seeking better ways, you don't just aim to perform at a high level, but to perform at the highest level possible. Be willing to be held accountable. This is a crucial aspect of success. Achieving extraordinary results doesn't happen without accountability. Successful individuals hold themselves accountable to their commitments and actions. Accountable people achieve the kinds of results others can only dream of. If you want to achieve great things, you must accept responsibility for your actions and ensure that you are always moving forward toward your one thing. In summary, the key to achieving extraordinary results is about more than just hard work. It's about adopting a mindset of mastery, constantly seeking better ways to do things, and holding yourself accountable for your actions and results. The 4 thieves of productivity. There are 4 productivity thieves that can derail your journey to extraordinary results. Inability to say no. Saying yes to everything means saying no to what matters most. Saying yes to everyone is the same as saying yes to nothing. To protect your focus, you must learn to say no to anything that isn't aligned with your one thing. This is essential for maintaining your productivity and staying on track. Fear of chaos. The path to greatness is chaotic. If you're striving for something extraordinary, chaos is inevitable. Instead of fearing chaos, embrace it. It's a natural part of growth and achieving something significant. How you deal with it determines your success. Poor health habits. Personal energy mismanagement is one of the most silent thieves of productivity. High achievement requires high energy, and maintaining that energy requires intentional habits. Meditate, eat well, exercise, and get enough sleep. Your physical and mental energy is critical to productivity. Without it, all the planning in the world won't matter. Environment doesn't support your goals. Your surroundings, both physical and social, must align with your goals. If the people around you or your environment are not in sync with your vision, it will be much harder to achieve your desired outcomes. Surround yourself with those who support your success and clear the physical and mental clutter that stands in your way. The highly productive person's daily energy plan. To manage your energy effectively, here's a plan for staying energized throughout the day. Spiritual energy. Start your day with meditation or prayer to ground yourself and build spiritual energy. Physical energy. Eat right, exercise, and ensure you get enough sleep to fuel your body. Emotional energy. Spend time with loved ones, hug, kiss, laugh, to recharge your emotional energy. Mental energy. Set clear goals, make plans, and use a calendar to organize your day and ensure you stay focused on what matters. Business energy. Block time for your one thing to ensure your work aligns with your highest priority. By starting your day with a focus on these areas, you'll find that you have more energy throughout the day with less effort. The power of environment and support. Achieving extraordinary results isn't a solo journey. No one succeeds alone, and no one fails alone either. It's essential to pay attention to the people around you and the environment you create. Surround yourself with people who encourage and challenge you. Ensure your environment, whether your workspace or home, supports your goals. When your environment is aligned with your priorities, your path to success becomes clearer and more consistent. Living a life with no regrets. At the end of the day, the measure of a successful life is not just in the results you achieve, but in the way you live. To live a life worth living, make sure it's a life free of regrets. When you know what truly matters, every decision you make aligns with your purpose. Living with purpose means that everything you do is meaningful and connected to your greater goals. When you don't know what matters most, anything can seem important, and your energy will be scattered. But when you're clear about your purpose, everything falls into place. In conclusion, to live a life with no regrets, focus on your one thing, make sure it aligns with your purpose and prioritize it above all else. Your life will then make sense, and everything you do will contribute to the extraordinary results you desire.